This is Blind Like Me.
Hello, everyone.
Interviews, information, and reviews related to living with a vision disability. Your host is Tim Black. Tim has been visually impaired since birth. He's been in radio for 30 years and also hosts the podcast Inside Today's Country. Tim has never let his lack of vision stand in his way.
Well, hi there, and welcome to another edition of Blind Like Me. I'm Tim Black. Thanks very much for listening to us wherever you find your podcasts. We do appreciate you listening to us, and we ask you to give us 5 stars so that other people can find Blind Like Me. You might have noticed over the last couple of weeks that we haven't been putting out regular episodes. We did go on TikTok a couple of weeks ago, and we've got a lot of emails to reply to and a lot of comments to reply to about our podcast, and we've got a few guests lined up as well. But there is something that I have experienced over the last couple of weeks that I never thought I would go through in my life as well. And this week I've actually brought in my special guest, which is my wife, Kathy. Say hello.
Hello, my name is Kathy.
Thanks for pointing that out. The reason I brought Kathy in for this is because she has basically become my right arm over the last couple of weeks, actually my right and left arm over the last couple of weeks, as I have gone under cataract and corneal transplant on my seeing eye. Now, for those who don't know, I only do see out of my left eye. I don't see anything out of my right eye. So this was a pretty major thing for our family. And so Kathy has become the person who is really doing a lot of the editing for us here on the podcast and in other things that I do. So we thought we would bring her on and just kind of talk about what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. As I said, this was pretty monumental. We never thought this. We've actually are recording this on our anniversary, 27 years together, or married together. Monumental thing to do on our anniversary. Good stuff. But we never thought that this would ever happen in my life, right?
No, I mean, there was always the chance that your vision would continue to get worse, but it was thought that it would happen much later in your life. And you're now in your, we'll be generous. We'll say you are mid-40s. We'll just be really generous.
I can say I'm 50. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of being 50. That's fine.
And so, but your vision has been going progressively worse for the last 10 years, and it's not something that the doctors really wanted to move forward with. Mm-hmm. But your cataract had got to the point where it was either to remove the cataract and or completely lose your vision, because the cataract was starting to block all of the vision you had. Mm-hmm. So by taking the cataract out, it got rid of a lot of the irritation and inflammation that was occurring on your cornea as well. Mm-hmm. So having the cataract grow was also damaging your cornea. Mm-hmm. And you've also have the added complication of glaucoma, which when you've got a cataract forming, once again, it makes the pressure of your eye all the more. Mm-hmm. So there were so many factors involved here that I say our doctor, it's not mine, but the Tim's doctor decided that, he was ready to move forward. And also the technology has changed so much since the time that we first met our doctor.
Yeah. I mean, he said 10 years ago that we would never even venture down this road. We would never do something like this. So when the opportunity came, we talked about it as a family. At the end of the day, we made it that it was going to be my decision because we didn't know what was going to happen. I was either going to come out with vision or I was going to come out with no vision. There were certain camps in our family who were hoping we could get a seeing eye poodle. But at this point, that poodle is not happening.
I might have been in that camp.
We took the risk. So without getting too graphic and, too weirdly detailed, so the cataract did come out at the same time because my cornea was so small and had been really pretty much wrecked because of the cataract and everything else that had gone on. We did a full cataract or a full corneal transplant, which was done amazingly in an hour and a half here in Manitoba, where we are. And I came home that day and I have seen things that I haven't seen for 10 years. One of the things I actually got to see right out of the hospital was Kathy's face for the first time in 10 years. So that was pretty amazing. And then I got to see my daughter's glasses. I hadn't seen them on her face for the last 10 years. and colors have been amazingly bright, like just incredibly bright. Because part of the whole thing they did with taking the cataract out is they also replaced or took the lens out of my eye. But because everything is so small, they did not put a lens back in. So I'm flying without a lens in my eye, which will be another challenge in the next month or so, where we'll put a contact lens in, not inside the eye. I'll just wear that, externally like a regular contact lens. But I got to tell you, it has been an amazing experience. Everything's brighter. Apparently, we have to change the light bulbs in the house now because I didn't realize we were eating dinner under a stadium.
The rest of us have been eating a dinner under a stadium chandelier for so long. And the first day in the house, Tim is like, "This house is too bright." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? This is how we live.
Yep.
This is how we live." So I'd walk in a room and he'd turn a light off. And I'm like, "What are you doing? I can't see." Because we're so used to it being so bright everywhere we go.
And what was I in the kitchen the other day doing something and you're like, "Why is the light not on?"
I know. I was like, "Why are you in here? Why are you in here with the light off?"
Yeah.
And you said it was bright enough. And I'm like, "Ugh, blah. It's not bright enough anymore."
Yeah. So, so we're gonna have to change some light bulbs. That will come. We had to, get some new sunglasses to make,
I'm not changing the light bulbs. Are
no,
you
I'm
kidding
kidding. I'm
me?
changing
There are
the light
way
bulb.
too many light
I'm
bulbs. to
changing the light
change.
bulbs.
I like the 120 watt wherever I go.
We got some new sunglasses to make sure that the eyes are protected, and that's important for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, even if you're at that ripe age of where your eyes are changing. Protect your eyes all the time. We talked about that with the guys from Two Blind Brothers a couple of weeks ago here on the podcast, who actually have some really cool sunglasses. So if you are looking for some, go check out their products. They've got some neat stuff there. So where do we sit now here on Blind Like Me as the podcast? We are undergoing yet another procedure here in a couple of days' time. There is still some residual fluffiness, that's what the doctor called it, that still has to come out of my eye, and that will clear things up even more. And then we'll hopefully be very, very clear again, and I'll actually be able to sit behind the cockpit here in the studio and do stuff, and then we'll go on to focusing and stuff like that. So we wanted to give you a little bit of an update of where we are here on Blind Like Me and why you're not getting the regular episodes. They will be back here in a couple of weeks' time, so be patient with us. As I said in the start, we appreciate you listening to the podcast. If you do have comments, questions, or concern, or a topic that you would like us to tackle, well, the lady to my right is handling all our emails right now at info@timblackonair.com. That's info@timblackonair.com. You will get an email back eventually. She has a full-time job. She's just a part-time secretary. I pay okay, but if I paid better, probably get a faster response. Anyways, and everybody who has commented on our TikTok, we will get to those for you as well. There's a lot of interesting people that have commented on our TikTok page. And if you're not following us on TikTok, please do. Tim Black on Air is where I am on TikTok. All right.
Yeah. So today, this exciting thing is I'm going to edit this podcast.
God help us all.
And if everything goes well,
yep.
We've actually got a couple of other shows sitting here waiting to be edited.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do a good job
on this one,
if I do a good job on this one, Tim might let me do a good job on a couple of other ones, and we'll get a little bit more content out to you a little bit faster, some more fun stuff and interesting stuff. I personally, I just love the stories that I hear from all of you guys. And I just hope that you just keep sending us those emails and asking us to share your story. This show started out as a tech podcast, but we certainly found out that the personal side was the part that really meant a lot to the people who listen and a lot to Tim and to myself and my family.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you drop us an email at info@timblackonair.com. That's info@timblackonair.com. And you can check our website as well, which is very simple, timblackonair.com. Thanks for listening to this week's edition of Blind Like Me.
Thanks for listening to Blind Like Me. If you have a comment or suggestion about future casts, drop us an email to blindlikeme@outlook.com. Blind Like Me is a timblackonair.com production.